All right, hello Netroots. Looking good out there? Okay, so we know that the Netroots is not anything much without the grassroots. So I want to hear it for this room full of community organizers, union members, educators, activists, public interest lawyers, and policy wonks who go out there each and every day and take on the predatory profiteers who would tear down our democracy and public institutions for their personal gain, not on our watch. My name is Helen and I'm an at-large city council member in the great city of Philadelphia. I'm also vice chair of Local Progress, which is a network of local electeds in small towns and big cities all over this great nation that is going out there and taking on the big issues and restoring our faith in government and politics. But I come to you first and foremost as a mom of 3 kids that I raised in the Philadelphia public schools, a daughter of immigrants, a former teacher, and a 20-year community organizer in a city that still labors mightily for racial and economic justice. We're the poorest big city in this nation, but we know that poverty and inequality don't happen to us by accident. They happen when our legislature fails to fund our public schools equitably. When we create policies of overcriminalization and mass incarceration that start at the earliest ages. When we grant tax subsidies indiscriminately to the wealthiest corporations, then cry poverty when it comes to healthcare, housing, transit, and our schools. But that's why I spent my life not in just politics, but in building movements that create the capacity for us to get change. I cut my organizing teeth in Philadelphia's Asian American communities, defying mayors and developers that would seek Chinatown land for publicly funded stadiums and casinos. Because we took on those corporate interests and their lobbyists who would deny us affordable housing, safe and stable school systems, safe communities, and we figured out a path to win by understanding that the power was within our own communities. Because we know that our politics don't start with politicians, they start with us. It was our immigrant communities in Philly that fought to establish Philadelphia as a proud sanctuary city, and we intend to keep it that way. It was public school parents, youth, and teachers who spent almost 2 decades fighting a state takeover of public schools, defying privateers, profiteers, and union busters, and those corporate Dems who had declared public schools a dead end. We took on a Republican governor who took out $1 billion out of our public school system, and we got up and we organized. When the state takeover body closed down 24 public schools in one single school board meeting, we mourned and when we got up and organized. And in 2014, when the GOP was winning all across the country, that was the coalition that defeated that Republican governor who was the face of those budget cuts. We threw him out. That was the coalition that put into office a mayor and city council who would support public education, and also 3 new Supreme Court justices who have moved Pennsylvania forward on an equitable school funding formula and ended unconstitutional gerrymandering. And this was a coalition that brought back resources to our children, ended that state takeover, and last month our local school board met for the first time in 20 years. But we're not going to slow down in Philly, because whether you're in my great city or elsewhere, these movements that are sweeping through this nation right now and reinvigorating our democracy are happening at the local level. In 2018 and beyond, we're going to win by matching our politics with the movements that energize a broad base of voters to make what used to feel impossible possible again. And that's why I'm so proud of my city. Because when Jeff Sessions sits in that White House, Philly elected Larry Krasner as our district attorney. And we're working with our returning citizens to end cash bail, mass incarceration, and we've shrunk the jail population so much that we've closed down 1 county jail. And when Steve Mnuchin and the GOP conspired to give their workers and the wealthiest of the wealthy $1.5 trillion in tax cuts, mobilizing for a real economic vision for working families. And when Ben Carson is lost on an elevator somewhere, or out shopping for a new sofa, Philly responded by establishing a legal defense fund for immigrants facing eviction. We're gonna fight for affordable housing. So I want each and every one of you to meet the people I've worked alongside with, who uplift our public schools, our neighborhoods, and our communities, our youth, most of all. I want you to see everybody in my city who's embraced the radical love and revolutionary spirit that makes me so proud to represent Philadelphia on this stage. And that's why I am so proud to announce tonight that I will welcome you to Philadelphia for next year's Netroots Nation Convention. Because in 2019, we need Netroots out there winning elections at every level, local all the way to the federal. We're the original home of rebels and revolutionaries. Netroots, we need your vision, your energy, and your passion more than ever. So put on your Eagles jerseys. I don't care what team you represent. Whet your appetite for justice with a side of cheesesteaks and soup dumplings. And let's get ready to make some noise in my hometown. See you in Philly in 2019.
Hi, Adam. What's going on?
Hey, Helen, listen, are you busy?
Just getting ready for Monday.
Listen, I have some incredibly important news. Meet me at the Art Museum. I can't wait to welcome Netroots Nation to my home. See you in Philly in 2019.
This is Philadelphia. Our city gave birth to modern democracy, but we didn't stop there.
From criminal justice reform to grassroots organizing for public education, this is a city on the rise.
In Philly, we know that our politics don't start at the top. They start with real people pushing policy forward.
This is a town that values its organizers, its activists, its progressive.
No matter what you look like or where you come from, who you pray to, or who you love.
Pennsylvania is the nation's largest delegation with no women in Congress, and I'm looking to change that in 2018.
And in January, I'll be the first openly LGBT person of color to serve in Harrisburg.
Overwhelming support of Daily Kos and the Netroots community, I flipped a Republican seat in Delaware County 3 years ago today.
And this is a town where we are making tremendous gains in pushing our criminal justice reform, in pushing against mass incarceration, against mass supervision, to protect immigrants.
And also in Pennsylvania, we elect Black women as mayors in our state.
Protecting consumers from malicious actors and upholding the inalienable rights granted to all.
Winning protections for renters, defending the rights of our immigrant neighbors, fighting for racial and economic justice.
We have 720,000 Pennsylvanians who now have health insurance who didn't have it just 2.5 years ago.
I'm leading Philadelphia's educators in the fight for more funding for public education and better learning conditions for our school children.
You know, they say Philly's scrappy, that we're underdogs. I say we're champions.
We're committed to creating a Philadelphia that serves everyone.
And yep, we also have a Lombardi Trophy.
I'm really excited to welcome you to my home in 2019, Netroots Nation, and I'll see you soon.
See you in Philadelphia in 2019.
See you in Philly in 2019.
See you in Philly in 2019.
See you in Philly in 2019.